Okay, you're welcome to Adborn Team Mental Fitness. And before we go into today's training, we'd like to say Happy New Month once again to month of September to all our team members nationwide and globally. And you're welcome to Adborn Team Mental Fitness. So this training is going to be happening in 15 minutes or less. So what's the topic for today? The topic says life patterns and processes are like a clock. Life patterns and processes are like a clock. And I would like to give these three keynotes. The first is, have you once wondered why a pattern occurrence kept repeating itself, either positive or negative? If it's yes, if it's no, then that means you have to stay to the end of today's training. Then the second one says, have you once enjoyed any particular action and it was not impactful and it was difficult to let go? If it is yes or no, that means some passions that are not impactful. Then you have to also stay till the end of today's training. Then the third one says, have you ever considered setting a personal routine? If it is yes and no as well, that means you have to stay to the end of today's training. So let's start with this opening quote that says, some beautiful parts cannot be discovered without getting lost first. You know, we are in an environment that have actually experienced this opening quote. So there is once upon a time that we're thinking, oh, we are just passionate about agriculture and we are just losing money in those directions. And that doesn't mean that agriculture is not very important to us. Those losses taught us a lot of lessons that makes us now realize that I think what we need to do differently is seek professionals on a focal project and make a difference with them and let them handle your projects going forward. So that's actually what we learned from our loss in agriculture. And that has actually put us in a beautiful path right now. We now know what to do, what not to do, and that be as the result of our experience in the past. So what is pattern and processes? Pattern is well-structured and understudied daily activities with valuable and measurable impact to either individual or organization that can be automated over time. You know, when we use the word pattern is, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? One of the things I do first when I wake up in the morning is to brush my teeth. Because my body now understands at the moment I brush my teeth, the day I've started. If I just go out without doing that, I'll still be struggling. You understand? So there's a particular thing that you do. You have to be able to track it. After that, I go to my library. I do my gratitude journal. After gratitude journal, I don't even pray. The next thing I do is to pick my Bible. If I pick my Bible, okay, let me pick one or two things from it. Then I pick what is my one word. Like for today now, my training is my one word, pattern and processes. So I make that my one word for that day. If I still want to make it my one word for the week, so I apply it, then that one word will determine what I want to search online to read from or what I want to pick to read from in terms of books. And that's why Mr. Siri was saying, my book is high today. I said, it takes me a lot of time before I could come up with what I'm talking about. And then, you know, I now put under this definition that why process is the combination, process is the combination of pattern. And if we look at the beginning, this is a pattern. This is another pattern. This is another pattern. The combination of all these patterns create a process. So now you realize that what we're actually talking about is pattern. So how to detect your daily pattern? I deliberately put this framework. And then if you realize that if you set a pattern on your phone, I cannot unlock it except you show me. So, all right, let's go a bit further. So we're going to use maize and corn as our case study, and we're also going to be relating it into our own operation as the corn is actually what you plant, which is the seed, while the maize is actually the one that is still on the tree, which is still in the cob. So then we're going to go into the detail. The detail is the first, what is the core? The core is the seed, which is actually the corn. And the core determines how to go about the planting of maize before it now gives you the maize you're actually looking at. So if we look at what we do at Adbond, what is our core? Our core is land provision. And then in land provision, we have several other things that we can also do with it. So individually, you have to be able to identify your own core. Because until you understand your core, that will now define the pattern that we work with that core. All right, let's go further. So the next one is, what is your core existing for? What is your core existing for? Is a matter of existence. So if we look at corn now, corn is existing for carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And there is a breakdown of what vitamins you derive from it. And also there is a breakdown of what minerals you actually derive from it. So if we also look at what we do at Adbond, part of our existence is that, okay, we do trainings, we do real estate insights. Part of our core is that, okay, we help people to put some sort of wealth creation when they buy our land. Or we even help some people that you don't have to plant anything. You can put your land to lease. You understand? These are few of other things that customer can actually derive as end goal of our own existence at Adbond Harvest and Home. So the question to individual now is, what will people derive from my core as an existence? You'll be writing all these things down. So what will people derive as my core of existence? So the next one is growth. So if you take a look at the growth pattern of a maize is in 90 days from our agri department. And in 90 days, it shows that you have to put the corn into the soil, and then it transforms into a seedlings, and then it started growing before you can harvest, and then it will die, and then it will give you another. You understand? What are you doing that has that infinity order? Thank you. So that can actually have that infinity order. So look at what we do at Adbond Harvest and Home. We come on Monday, we do our training, we check up, we do on Tuesday, we also do our virtual training space. We'll find that particular thing that we can do from day Monday to day Sunday, and then we repeat the cycle. You understand? So we repeat the cycle again. So you have to find out within you, okay, how can I start my day and end it and repeat it the next day? Because that will help you to form a proper pattern that will help your seed to perform effectively. So the next one says research and exposure. Do you know that I've never seen that there is maize like this? I've never. The only one I know is this one, and this. Thank you. So it's the yellow and the white. So there are a lot of things that you also portray. There are a lot of attributes. There are a lot of varieties. But in terms of human being, we need high level exposure. Yeah, high level of exposure, so that you can check things that wow. Yeah, you can see things that wow you, things that open your eyeball on a high dimension, for you to be able to understand what are the other things that you can actually do. Like Adbond, we have Agro Protect, Agro Secure. These are varieties. I'm telling you varieties now. We have facility management. We have bond home ownership. In terms of varieties of things that we can do, even they might not be in existence yet, but these are the varieties of things that we can actually do. Then the next one is expansion. Expansion is, take for example, taking your seedlings and then your willingness to go and try it in another environment. So it's an equation of finding an environment where you can strive. Because don't forget, your seed is not meant for everybody. Do you know that you cannot plant this thing in some regions within Nigeria, or maybe in some regions in another African country? So you have to be able to identify where you can actually strive in terms of your seed. All the people that we have at Adborn Harvest and Homes are people that can actually strive under an hybrid system. Some people cannot perform with an hybrid system until they are in the office physically. That's the only way they can actually perform. So then bonus of today's training is break application. Break application means your willingness to stay outside the game. That's why you see at Adborn we give you maybe 2 weeks vacation. We say work 1 day from home in a week is your break application. The break application where you can understand, okay, what are the things that I'm doing that is going dry? What are the things that I do that flourish? And then you note them down. You make it a keynote, and that will help you to know that I think I need to double what I'm doing that helped me. One of the things we're able to detect is our e-team system. We're able to do feedback from our training system that, oh, don't stop the training. We really appreciate it. It's really helping us. It's really helping us to grow. Some say, the training is too much, but can we make it two times in a week? Then we adjusted to what they say, that because the training you guys are giving us is so good that even we have not started applying the one you gave us last week, and you are bringing another one. So help us to shift them so that we don't waste the training. So my recommendation for today states that, number 1, treasure and trap your positive growth moment in time with gratitude journaling. You know, if you look at all the things that we always talk about, it's that gratitude journaling will come at least once in a month. It is very, very important, because whatever you write down with your own hand will definitely stick to your brain. So the next one says study yourself adequately. Study yourself adequately means don't be the mirror of others. Don't be the inversion for others. Just take time. If it is slippers you can be making, don't forget you are impacting life. You know, we always say something that don't measure your growth based on monetary inflow that you have within your bank account, but measure it with total number of life you are impacting. So, you know, as of today, Mr. Felix says we have close to 2,000 plus customers that we are currently serving at Adborn Harvest and Homes, and that should be something that we can give an applause to ourselves for. So the next one says speak the truth to yourself on the things you do and how it impacts others. Speak the truth to yourself on things you do and how it impacts others. We have to tell ourselves, I think we need to put a pause to our grade for some time. Then the next one says eliminate or replace unproductive actions with productive ones to save time and curb waste of resource. Waste of resource is human being. Number 1 resource I don't want to waste is human being. Number 2 is now you can now start talking in terms of financial inflow. So then the conclusion quote for today states that understanding of life begins with the understanding of patterns by Fridtjof Capra. So if you have questions or contributions or comments or something new you've learned from today's training, kindly put it in the comment section below. And thank you so much for staying till the end of today's training. And also don't forget, effective human functionality is found in an environment of continual learning with a supportive drive for your desired result. And that is our quote as usual from the office. Thank you so much for staying till the end of today's training. See you next week.